a high priest of African traditional religion. I invoke the spirits of our ancestors to be present with us. There is hardly a Benin man or a Benin woman that will talk today without using or mentioning one or more of my researched and invented Benin vocabulary. And today, if you watch the social media or you read newspapers or any forms of print and other medias, you will see one or two of my works. So it's a fulfillment of my promise to Benin Kingdom when I was growing up. Many people go on social media or anywhere to talk to the world using my name without mentioning them, mentioning my name, using my works without mentioning my name. Somebody phoned me when I was in Australia, I think about 2 years ago, that did you watch Benin Renaissance on the social media? I said no. He said go to this. So I went there and saw me standing and reciting a poem on the Benin Mother's Mother. The day of Ebohon, he said, unquote, I'm happy that I saw this thing. Later that year, he told BTV or EBS, they call it Bender Television, and some other television houses that he appeals to them not to be playing that record in the morning because it doesn't feel right when you sees it in the morning. The same thing Chief Ebohon said some many years ago when his first son, a medical doctor, Dr. Osemwegie, died in Germany. He was the physician to the president. So I made a record on him. So the man said his son wasn't dead again by that production. I said the tooth that will break in cocoyam in Yokedo. You know, it's very soft. For a tooth to break in it means it's an ordination of nature. So coming back or coming to the story of today, every day of my life, some of you here will testify because I must have corrected you on one or two things. They will say Uwese. I will write to the person, so sorry dear, it is not Uwese, it is Uwese. Then some will say Idameho. I will say sorry dear, I will write to him or her. It's not Idameho, it is Idaeho. Then when an intellectual giant, Dr. Rebecca Ayesi, now Mrs. Novotemsky, was writing her dictionary, Benin English Dictionary. It came to me, I gave her some words that were hitherto not in Bezian, Benin English Dictionary, written in 1939, I'm not very sure of the date. Then I also told her that day that Takwa Gomi Wotele is a curse on any Benin man if you use it to curse him or her. May God not allow it to be a curse on us. But to the Oba of Benin, it is a prayer. Because if he does not paddle on the Omi, he cannot become Oba in Benin. When they tell any human being, whether Benin or not, Takwa Gomi Wotele, it is a curse. But to a Benin monarch, it is a prayer. Then one day I was before His Royal Majesty of blessed memory, Oba Erediawa. I used 2 words that day, Elubu Rubu. Then the chiefs were saying, oh, you want to start speaking Greek. Then I told them, the word Elubu Rubu was used the year as when I was to go to war for his father. He asked the Gun people to produce a sword for him. They started molding it because that one was over 9 feet tall, hefty, and having the energy of almost 201 people. So when they started gumming together pieces of iron, by the time they were satisfied that Aaron can go to war with that, he got to Igun Street because they couldn't leave. He used left to take it up did it like this, and it broke to pieces. Then the Igun started molding things. By the time they concluded it, they said, come and try this. He took it, shake it like this, then the top cut off. He said, well, I can manage this. I don't want to waste time again. I'm going to work for my father. Then the father now said, unquote, Ew, I die. Elubu rubu rumeni arioko. Meaning a shapeless, ugly image or material is what my son is now taking to war. That is why when somebody is having what we call a veneer in English, a protracted and glowing big tentacles. You have about 3 or 4 types. The Elubu Rubu is the one that is shapeless, the salt cone and things like that. So, distinguished men and women of the press, I'm before you today to tell you my own side of the story going on now, where Monday Edo is laying claim to one of my works. He's not the only person. Many people have tried some of my works, but they came here to kneel down. Because I don't bother, because I thought I was disseminating knowledge. So I'm going to talk on his own. When you are in the court of law to testify on a topical issue as an authority, the first thing the court asks you is to ask you to prove to the world that you are an authority in that area. So this book was written in 1972, published by Atio Publishers. It's out of print, and a school, many schools, including Immaculate Conception College, are plagiarizing it, copying it, pirating it. And even my son bought from it 300 naira. So when he got to me, he said, Daddy, your name is on this something. So I took it from him. I said, okay. I phoned the teacher. I said, be pirating it, because I no longer give broom to my son to bring to school. And not only that, I don't pay for broom or pay for my son speaking vernacular. So this will be my payment for it. So they'll be plagiarizing or pirating it. Sorry, let me take small. Another one, Comment Kuku Zokba. The year I put it on stage, all the Benin chiefs and permanent people of this kingdom brought their wives to the hall to see the fight for inheritance. But this tells a full story of it. We may be able to give you a copy, but it's written in Benin language, and only a few Beninese can read it. Then, this one is Amazing World. All the wonders that have happened in this center are there. The language of animals are there. So many things are there. It's very revealing. They say Ebohon reveals the secret of nature. this on traditional marriage, my first daughter's marriage, and a book now being read. This Guabanet on the Palace of Benin. I'm not an initiate of the palace. The palace granted me permission during the time of Osemwegie II to do research on the palace, and this one was produced. Although it's expensive, those of you journalists that are here, I will give you a copy each, because I said when we started it was 25,000, it's now 15,000, but it doesn't matter. Then I will give it to you. Then the dialogue between Osemwegie II and Olarotimi of blessed memory, a professor at Ife University and later University of Port Harcourt. This is very topical. One of them, Igiobe. This is inheritance in Benin. Is so far the greatest authority on the sharing of inheritance after a person's death. Then the categories of human beings, the categories of Igiobe, and so on and so forth. A woman whose husband is still in the mortuary, for one reason or the other, she takes him for another person who is not a member of the husband's family. How to untie it? Men who refuse to take dowry from their wives because of one hatred or the other for the woman. So how to untie and neutralize them? They are all there. Is also in the amazing world. Then the gravamen of the matter on floor today. This is Oba Ovorame, part 1, Godomingo. Then there is part 2. I will give you a copy of each of the cow. Then it has just been, the jacket has just been changed because of piracy and so on and so forth. I did it within a few days to tell the world that Ovorame is my child, and my production. I have the natural, physical, spiritual, and any other type of copyright over it. So no other human being can lay claim to it, apart from the palace, who will say, I own the kingdom, because the other owns the god of medicine owns the snail and what is in the snail shell. So that is the thing. Oba Ovorame, that was deported to Calabar in 1897. All the legal works on it, except 2 that were written by Olarotimi under my supervision. The Oba Osemwegie II asked him to come to me, and I will tell him the story and tell him how to produce it, which really happened. And Obemudia in 1971 gave me 48,000 pounds or whatever, or I don't know. Then I went to Ife with my group for 3 months. We produced it, filmed it. Then when the book was to come out, Rotimi didn't write that I was the composer of the songs. I was the designer of the costumes. So I told Etio Publishing Corporation to put it on hold until I return from a course in London, until he removes one phrase, I bring you greetings from the Oni of Ife, the godhead of the Benin. He told a lie. So when I came, I took him to the palace, and the palace asked him some questions, which you will find here. And when he was to drink his Fanta, it entered his trachea, and he was doing because of fear and things like that. You know, he was about 4 feet tall, short man like that. Jumped and said, Kabie. They said, shut up. The Oba of Benin has never addressed Kabie's smaller chiefs that you greet like that. That is why I said other Obas are like the sword-bearers of the Oba of Benin, a Madofai and Buze. So that is that. So if it doesn't work, don't bother yourself, their own will cover it. So I just wanted to show you a few of my books. This is Olokun worship. It's the first and yet the last on that deity and the 201 gods. This is also the secret of traditional medicine. So they are all there. And I wrote this one in 1972, Cultural Heritage of Benin. It has not been revised. So the two remaining were turned. So University of Benin, I think it's a do something. They had to put this cover. This is not the cover. The cover I will send to you in my WhatsApp. I will give it to Mr. Ebohon. I know his number, then he will transfer it to all of you. Then I have over 460 awards all over the world because of my sojourn in Benin, arts, culture, and tradition. Although culture is not a substitute for life, it is a key to it. That is why I said, until I die after many years, Benin will not be subjected to any problem from anywhere. If you look at that place, those are awards from University, New York University. The middle one is from NUJ, Benin, Bendel, Midwest, Bendel, and Edo State. That is also on from NUJ as their patron. And that's an award on something, if you look at it on the wall there. Then that's New York University. The other one is a university in Schenectady in America, where I went to lecture to raise funds for the deaf, dumb, and blind. So just to tell you a few of what I have done before coming to the problem of flood today. In 1996, I told my group to look for good guitarists so that I can pick one from them. Unfortunately, the first day they brought only one, Monday, Edo Igbinidu. So I told them he looked very fragile and sickly, that they should look for another one. So Nosa Ehimema, who was the most senior artistic director of the Ebohon Theatre International then, brought one, the same father and mother with him, although I didn't know, but it didn't matter if he's a good artist. The boy came, Oyedo. He was very good, but he was alcoholic. So I had to dismiss him. And he still died of alcohol. Then Jane and the late Patricia Momoba, this lady was in the Ebohon International Theatre for 54 years. I produced this in his memory. I dictated everything and directed the design, the production to Mosity printers, and they produced this. So this is another very serious part of my life. When this one came out, it was 25,000. It was published by Broward County Library System. Their director, Dr. Samuel Morrison, was here for 6 days some years ago, I think 2001 or 2002. So all the works here are my work, and one person who later wronged the gods, Dr. Baba Gambao, did his PhD in this, in Florida International University or so, this one. Then he stole all my materials away, but I didn't bother because they would be useless to him in Senegal. There is a new museum established, the National Museum. Hopefully their president and their minister of culture who came to rob me in Florida with that Baba Kaumbao. They carried some of my works there. They didn't write my name. They wrote, I say, I won't bother myself going there so that I don't go and get hurt by those criminals. Not the country that are criminals. Baba Kaumbao and the Minister of Culture, they rubbed me together. So it's an opportunity to say to the world. He was sacked from there for tampering with women in Miami Museum or whatever it is. So that is just that. So coming back to Ovorame, I don't want to belabor the issue. In 1996, late, one Princess Ayerekmen Ni Eweka, then Mrs. Oronsaye, she owned the maternity at Owina Street. She was the mother of Professor Oronsaye of University of Benin, now of blessed memory, and the mother of one gentleman, a prolific artist, Patrick Oronsaye, and many others. She came to report the Roman Catholic Mission Archbishop, His Excellency Ebohon to me, that the Catholic Mission said they would excommunicate her for not reconciling his son Oronsaye, Professor Oronsaye, and his wife, the first daughter of Colonel Anyaro. Then I asked her, were you the one who married them in the Catholic Church? She said, no. I said, you are not the one to reconcile them. It's the Catholic. If they are unable to do it, then let them back themselves. They go their ways, because they are tired. So it's the church that would have counseled them and said, there is still the need for them to come together. So I won't go into their privacy. Then I said, do you have His Excellency Ebohon's number? I said, yes. I said, give it to me. So I called him, a fine gentleman, because the day I went to give a lecture in their church in 1994, 72 years after it was established, I becoming the first native doctor to give a lecture in that church on burial concerns in Benin. With all the chaos and cataclysms that went with it, I still deliver it, because when the bishop heard that I was going to give a lecture, they said, you should have told me. It will bring controversy and whatever into the church. So they quickly phoned me that they've cancelled the lecture indefinitely. Then I wrote them and said, don't worry, I will stay outside your fence, put a table, climb it, and be lecturing those blind people and those paralyzed people there. People going to Obamarket, going to Newman, will be say, hey, pa, waiting the apple, I will say, I been one give lecture, then they don't cancel and I can't do one here. So when they had, they wrote me again that they didn't cancel it again, but they have cancelled, they've changed the topic. I said, okay, it's okay by me. So they sent a new topic. I wrote 3 minutes on it, and the original one, which was 3 hours, I read that one. It became a problem for them. Then after all said and done, the Archbishop asked late Reverend Theophilus Osemwegie to move a vote of thanks. Then he said, if we here today, Christians, can practice our religion, Christianity, the way Ebohon is practicing his 80-year-old, there won't be problem in the Christendom. Then they say, Then they said, if you have anything counter to what I'm saying now, say it. Nobody stood up. Then he said, that is the coward, that is the weapon of a coward. Which means those of you who made are the people going to him in the night as he professed. So that one aside, we come. Then this woman, after talking to Bishop Ekpo, he said, I'm not aware of it, and that can never happen. We cannot excommunicate her because of that. It's not the person to do it. Then I said, thank you, Your Excellency. I know you are not, because the day I came to give a lecture there, you told them that I was one of the principal people that fed you with information to do your PhD. Then the woman, I told her, I hope you heard now. He said there's no. Then he said, I said, don't go yet. I'm doing my rehearsal. He has said, Justice Eso Igodalu, Esogman, Chief Aro Oezeyamu, the father of Osage Ezeyamu. Then Chief S.I. Aswen, the Eson of Benin. And then Chief Eguavon, the Osuma of Benin. Those are the 4 first titles in Benin Kingdom. Then she said, I'm sorry, I have so many things I'm going to do, I won't be able to wait. I said, okay, you are the owner of the program, let me perform for you for 30 minutes. When we just started, he said, stop. We were to sing Avora and Numbers or Total Yoko of your border. He said, no. When he was already deported to Calabar, there were 7 songs. The Eloise, the queens in the harem were singing. Then when she started, I said, Mama, I beg stop. I told them to bring me my tape recorder and ask this lady, because she was a wonderful artist. When I went to interview the father, anywhere I'm stepping aside, you remind me to go back to it, because in Benin we say it is the excrement that pushes excrement from the human body. Then the father was the one who was teaching all Benin chiefs how to dance onudo. It was related to the palace. His house was in the palace there that Obaiwa redesigned and then fenced it inside, and I don't know beyond there. So when the man I was interviewing him, then he put on a song. When he's singing, he'll be playing drum on the table like that, palace drum. Then this girl just jumped out and started joining the father. It was about 30 or so. Then you will read her history here, because I wrote it in details. Whatever the case is, I absorbed her into my second group in life, a Do cultural group. 3 months later, she went to Algeria with this group. I didn't go because I had a course in Germany, 4 months. I wasn't designed to go, but the person that was to go, what's his name now? His father is a chief too at Siroko Road. He said he was writing his first degree exam, that he cannot travel for 4 months. So the observer now asked me to go. So it was that was the way the law fell on me, and I went to IIJ Benin, International Institute for Journalism. That was the best school for journalism in the world that I don't know now. So I went, and they went to Algiers. 3 days after they left for Algiers, the father died, a Benin senior chief Ikmomoba, the Halonia of Benin. So Bermuda, I phoned him, and he asked E.K. Clark, L.L. Bora, R.O.M. Ojezwa, the father of one politician. He was a retired person in this, and he was seconded to the Arts Council, where I was the head, the first cultural officer in Africa, because MAC, Midwest Arts Council, was the first to be established in the whole of Africa. So coming from, and it was because of me, Osemwegie established that council April 5, 1972, because the white man that was the manager of Nigerian Observer, Edwin Swanger, told him that I'm always going to act in this, going to do this, then he said, yes, he's propagating the cultural heritage of my people. So he should still be there. He was the #1 when you interviewed the journalist, the first senior observer, the senior reporter of the Nigerian Observer. So because of my performance there, the general manager, when they commissioned somebody to do a work on the freedom of freedom of the press also. Yeah, freedom of the press. They said I should model for it. That is why my statue is in the premises of the Nigerian Observer. Is it still there? Yeah, that's good. I thought with the change of name, then they bring it to me and I will immortalize it here. So, coming back to the something, so immediately then he started singing. I said, wait, Mama, I asked them to bring the tape recorder, and this girl hummed it after her. Then I said, sing it once more. He did it. By the time she left, I told them I'm not going to use it raw because we will have problem with the palace. But there were some very deep things, and I mellowed them down how it will be acceptable in the kingdom and not causing any problem for all. Because, for instance, a Senomawo in the 60s or late 50s sang a song, who was sung with the name of an Oba's wife. And he roamed the streets of Benin for about 8 days and died. So, if you know the Oba, you do not kill the Iroko tree. I have been very cautious and I've never made one mistake in my life as far as that is concerned. The only mistake that were being created for me by some Benin chiefs when I did a work on Akenzwa II and Obaye Diawa at the passing of Akenzwa II. They said I sang Ovia song in Benin and women chorused in it. So they were hunting me everywhere. So there was a day, 4 of them came without the knowledge of the Oba and said, the Oba said, they wanted drinks and things like that. I didn't bother. I'm saying this with this very strong permission of the present Oba of Benin. If it annoys him in any way, he should pardon it, because it is good for me to give the circumstances surrounding my performance as a cultural enthusiast so that the people of the world will hear my own side. Nancy Reagan, after they left the White House, Nancy Reagan, the father of Ronald Reagan, the wife, I mean, of Ronald Reagan, he said, silence is golden, but it becomes ungolden when you want to tell your own side of the story. I have been keeping silent in order to maintain status quo, to maintain that I'm an elder statesman in Benin Kingdom. You cannot wash it away from me because I'm not a Christian, because I'm not a modern doctor, and because I'm not a politician. It is already there sine die. So the chiefs came to my living room and said, the Oba said, you did this. I said, I beg, sir, wait, let me go and get ready and come and attend you properly. I went in and brought out a toy pistol and said, say what you said again. They were shaking like that. I said, when I say on your mark, put one foot on the, one knee on the ground, go, you run. Because I know the Oba didn't send me. So I did it and they ran away. They got to the palace and told the Oba that they were passing a road in Tesekula. One man came out. It was later they told us it's Osemwegie. They know me very well. He said, he brought out a gun. He said he want to kill us. The Oba was, he want to kill you with gun? He said yes. Then he just sent 4 chiefs to come and meet me, to see him immediately. That was the second time I would have been called to the palace when it's already late. This was around 6. I was afraid to go at that night because until a child knows what killed the father in the palace, he doesn't fear the palace. So I told them to tell His Royal Majesty that I would be there in the morning, that my mother's enemy wasn't well, and I'm the only child that is available. We are 2 out of the 13 she had. First thing tomorrow morning, I will be there. So they left. Tomorrow morning I went at about 10 so that all the chiefs will be there. I put the pistol in the pocket. When I get there, he say, so people were passing on the road. Even if you are the Oba now, can you stop people passing the government road or the road of the kingdom? I said, Your Majesty, I'm at sea. I don't know what is happening. I'm so straight to the matter being told about me. Then he said, can you recognize the chiefs who wanted to kill with a gun yesterday? I said, if I see them, I will recognize them. Then they said, you hear? Which means he wanted to kill them. I was laughing, so they came out. Then I said, if you see the gun, will you recognize? He said, yes, it has gold and there. I said, okay. I brought it. This is I pointed it to Chief Iwedo. I said, well, no. I pointed it to Papa. No. Then I pointed it to my army. Why? The fire came out. It was a lighter. Then I said, it was my sitting room. They came, Your Majesty, and they were demanding bribe from me. So I wanted to give them a surprising bribe, and then that was it, because if I haven't done it, they wouldn't have brought me to your presence. So everywhere was silent. So the next one was one night at about 8. The other sent the day to Bobo. He would never send him to me again. One palace police and 2 others to come and bring me at 8 p.m. I gave them 5,000. I knelt and said, please tell him that I traveled. They said, no, we can't go and tell the Oba a lie. He knows you are in town. So, cutting the story short, I asked them, what is it? He said, no, it's no problem. I said, in the night? He said, no, you must go. It's in the office. So I went with them. When he got there, I was still the head of Arts Council. He handed me some papers like this and said, go and write me on this. When can you bring it? I said, maybe day after. He said, it's detailed. I said, let me see first, Your Majesty. I went home and didn't sleep again that night. The other day, I didn't do any other thing. By the 3rd day, I produced 57 pages. And the Oba broke them into 5 palace papers. I have the copies he sent to me with his signature on green ink. I have them that is going to come out in my biography. So that is about that. So this Ovorame now, after the woman left, all the things that concerned Ovorame that I was developing, I didn't even ask them to go and compose anything. And they didn't compose anything. I have never met, what is his name, Mondedo. I have never met him. Not to talk of being his patron. I don't know if he has a group. When they brought him, like I said, he looked sickly and dejected, only to be told by one of the 3 ladies, 2 are dead now. Thank God the person living is an eyewitness. A native doctor in GRO, a boy was confessing his this thing, and he said it's the grandchild or the son of a doe or so. Then they phoned this woman in my group, number 1, Jane Hato. He went there and said, yes, he's a member of our group. So she told me when he got there, I said, I don't want to bring more problems into it because a lot of problems. This one will come and tell a different story too. Then I said, let me just drive him now since I just started working on him. They said, no, don't drive him. You are rehabilitating him. So I said, okay. I will sit on the ground in the garden of the gods. I will be directing, he will be forgetting. What you teach him today, he will know it again tomorrow. So I had to record. I have midget recorders, small tape. I have over 20. If you are having problem with my directing, then I will do it. Then you'll be listening to it when you get to. They bring them back. He brought his own back. So by the time